of Fannon and Drew. Oh, man, what's good with you, Drew?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Actually, Drew and Fannon. Let's correct it, man. Let's have age before beauty. I'm good, man. I'm good. What's up to everybody in the chat? I hope you guys enjoyed the fight last night. I hope you guys paid for the fight last night. Man, I felt like I was back in boxing for the first time in a long time, man. How did it feel? How was the feeling of the show for you yesterday?
It was I sat in my living room and I said, wow. You know, the only thing missing was looking at the screen and seeing the audience. But still in all, it was like solid. I felt solid. You know, I had my snacks there. I was actually enjoying the night of fights, man. Pretty solid night too.
Yeah, did you get to see all? Did you watch all the fights?
I seen all of them. All of them.
Man, I think I crashed out in between Act 1 and Act 2. Because, man, I didn't realize, man, I had got my hopes up because Charlo was on so early. Jamal was. I was like, okay, he must be, this is going to be a short night. Dang, we're going to be out of here like 8 o'clock. And then they had I don't know why they did it like that. Did that strike you as funny, Jamal being on that early?
Yeah, it did. It did, because I had I ordered everything, set everything up. You know, I told my daughter not to touch the TV. Ran out to the store. I came back, and he was walking to the ring. I said, "What? You know?" I said, "Whoa!" So I sat down, watched it, and then I'm thinking, all right, his brother gonna fight right behind that. But then I'm looking. I said, "Wait a minute. There's more fights on the cards. I didn't see those." I'm like, "Did I miss something?" And then they did like a whole other pay-per-view on the same night. It was like crazy. But I'd say we got our money's worth. I was very satisfied with the entire product. Very satisfied.
Man, I was very satisfied. That was definitely worth $75. Did you see? Now I started the day off. The reason why I think I had a hard time staying up is because I started the day with the afternoon fights, with the ones that were on DAZN and the ones that were on ESPN. The Josh Taylor thing. Did you see that Josh Taylor fight?
No, I was like in and out of that fight. I wasn't really paying attention to that.
Oh man, he knocked the dude out like it was a one punch knockout, body shot knockout. The guy was just like, it was like a waste of a time of a fight. And then Dorticos fought Mark Bradis on DAZN. So I watched that. Yeah, now did you saw that they had the Julio Cesar Chavez made his return?
Oh God, a return. Return to what? The trash?
Yeah.
My God, man. Do you know what the best part of that fight was?
What's that?
Looking at his dad again. With his hand on his head, looking down like, oh my God, this can't be my kid.
Oh, he did the same look again?
The same, yes, that one. The same look. That was, I mean, I feel bad for him, but it was hilarious, man. You know, that's why he's coming out of retirement. He got to right his son's wrongs. That was messed up, man. Man, that kid cannot be for real. Cannot. He got to stop now. Now he got to stop. It's over. Done. Not say that kid. I don't even want to say his last name associated with him. He's just Julio. Julio. Let's call him Julio. He's Julio.
Yeah, Julio. Yeah, Julio's a fuck up, dog. Like Julio's a major time fuck up. But that tells you, man, that speaks to that Canelo shit, dude. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was the first big pay-per-view, solo pay-per-view for Canelo. And he started, it was do you remember that card when Canelo fought him? That just absolutely ridiculous HBO card, pay-per-view card. Compared to what we got last night, man, it was absolute positive trash, man. But it sold that much stuff. So I'm really hoping to see. I hope that the pay-per-view did good numbers, man. But let me say what's up to everybody in the chat. We got about 100 people in here. We know we're going to be moving slow this morning. So, well, at least, some of it. New York, you had an advantage because you like an hour up. It's already 9 o'clock your time. So
the cats are still in bed.
Oh yeah,
New
for
York.
sure, man. That late, because shoot, they was out there partying last night.
Man, listen, I ain't felt this good watching boxing in a minute, man. I really enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It was one of the best. It was definitely the best fight. Definitely the best fight card of the year. The other one before that was Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and that was, I could have done without that one. I could have done without that one. But hey, man, that was a good one. So let me. What's going on? Watchery says, Charlo Brothers are killers. Jamal, king of 154. Jamal is a king too. Yeah, without a doubt, man. And we'll get into that as people. Once we get about 200 people in the building, man, we'll start chopping it up. But we know we gotta, it's gonna start a little bit slower because of the, because of the late night. So I didn't want to jump in. I don't want to jump into the heart of it too quickly. Black Kane, the bad guys. What's going on, man? Said there are going to be some angry people this morning because both Charlos win. What's your take on that, Drew? You think there's going to be some people hot out there because of how the Charlos went?
I don't know why there's hate for fighters that I don't understand. I just don't understand the hate for these guys. I mean, what do these fans want? What kind of fighter do they want? White fighters. But I don't understand. I don't understand the hate for the Charlos. What's the problem? What's the problem? They're loud about it, and they've backed it up, and they've actually been now both of them as of last night got solid wins on their resumes, man. People, it's like, these fans are weird. They look for a reason to hate fighters. They look for a reason to hate them. What is the problem? I'm just curious. Why would you hate the Charlos? It can't be their style. It can't be. I mean, trash talk don't bother me as long as you're backing it up. I mean, that never bothered me. Just back it up in the ring. They're as active as they can get. They're looking for all the smoke. I mean, you want to nitpick and say, "Oh, well, he ducked Jacobs," and I mean, come on. And that fight could still happen. You understand what I'm talking about? But what is it's unidentified flying hatred for a lot of fighters, and I'm trying to stay away from it.
Because you look like I want to go. Because you Negro too chocolate. That's what that is.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Charlos, come on, man. Like, that's the thing that I liked about that fight, man, about that card, is that if you don't give those dudes their proper credit now, there's just no excuse. Like, Jermell Charlo must be in the pound for pound list. He has to be. He's got 3 belts. He beat Rosario, who beat J-Rock, who beat Hurd, right? He beat Tony Harrison, avenged the loss to Tony Harrison. He's got 3 of the major belts. The guy outboxed. I mean, it was a one-sided fight with Rosario. Even though it was a one-sided fight that was still pressure filled because Jason Rosario was coming to try to do something. But dog, Jermell's just a different level of dude. He's a different level of fighter, dude. It looked like there was levels to this last night when it came to that one. And Jamal, man, dude, Jamal beat that dude up. Just beat him up.
And you know what? Let me tell you something. It wasn't too long ago. There was a lot of hype surrounding Gennady Golovkin. There was a lot of hype surrounding this guy. I hope you understand now. I hope everyone understands now. And I don't want to hear age and nothing like that. Maul would have beat the shit out of Gennady Golovkin. He'll do it now. It's not like Gennady's retired. The man's still active. And as a matter of fact, shout out to his promotional team and his management. I think he's fighting the same night that Errol's fighting. I mean, that's what I heard. I ain't look it up. But if that's true, the fuck is wrong with him? I want you to understand something. Gennady Golovkin is food for Charlo. Absolute breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, protein bars, all of that good stuff. Been saying that for a long time now. But the unconditional love for Gennady Golovkin, and there seems to be unconditional hate for Charlo. I want to say I don't get it, but I'm trying to stay away from the R word. I'm trying to stay away from it, but I don't get it. Yeah, racist.
Big Dog Willie said, "Nah, see, we cool on the racist. The word racist, that's not a problem. It's only thing is, the like nothing. Actually, you're good. Let's just keep rolling. I love this conversation, man. Drew, it's like waking up in the morning and coffee with Drew. I wish, except for I ain't got no fucking coffee. I need some coffee." Big Dog Willie in that super chat says, "Salute Fannon, Drew Titan, and the Kings in the chat, man. What's good to you, Big Dog Willie? And just so you think I forgot, fuck Dillian White, 100%, dog. Man, Dillian. What do you think about that fight, Drew? Dillian coming back in November to fight your boy.
Oh man,
knocked his ass the entire fuck out.
Oh man, today I actually got a treat. I'm gonna have my buddy Vasily on. For you guys that don't know, Vasily is he was a translator in HBO, spoke Russian. He actually works for DAZN on a consultant basis, with Ukrainian fighters. You'll know him when you see him.
I know who he is. I've seen him.
He's gonna be on my show today. I know him personally, and he actually he grew up with Alexander, and they was in the same boxing camp back in Russia. So we're gonna speak on it tonight on my show. But he was the first one I called after that fight, and when he answered the phone laughing because it was hilarious. And I told him, I said, man, you have no idea how big of a favor that Alexander did for me for knocking that dude's head. Oh God, that shit was hilarious. But fuck around, he'll do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, Dillian White is not that good. He's not that good. You know who he is? And listen, he's John Starks. He's the John Starks of boxing. He just had a couple of moments, and then he had a reality check. Nigga, you playing against Michael Jordan. I'm not saying that Alexander's Michael Jordan. I'm just saying that was he had a John Starks moment. He was shining for a little bit. Let's go, Wilder. Had a fan base that I couldn't understand. And then reality hit him. You go to the free throw line and miss 2 free throws in a clutch moment. And you run around headbutting niggas for no fucking reason. You're trash, really. You're trash, really. Your mentality's trash. Your whole style is chump, nigga. You're done. And if he fuck around and get in there and lose against Alexander again, glass that glass.
Oh, this shit is a glass. Hey, Matthew Valentine said, never question the Lions. Thanks for man. Much love in that super chat. Absolutely, dog. They did their thing. Texas is killing it. Derek James is killing it. Stormy B Man says, salute. I dedicated my Friday show to these most deserving brothers. I hope for economic respect as well. Oh, yeah. As long as they got that money. Well, look, the thing with that is going to be that whatever they sold is going to be, that's just like extra, because they're trying to find a way to not have it come out of the budget, so I'm sure that they got their guarantees, and then whatever above and beyond that, the pay-per-view gets, they get a good percentage of the pay-per-view. So, I'm not expecting it to do like 1 million pay-per-views or anything like that. And quite honestly, man, I don't really care, because that was just a way better card from just top to bottom. It's a way better card. Those were competitive fights that I was worried about. Even some of the fights that, that people didn't necessarily think were going to be competitive, like Neary versus Almeida, wound up being competitive. Just really solid fights, man. Really, really solid fights. And I think that's, yep, I got that. Cool. He says $75 for that long ass card, worth it. Yeah, it was a lot of solid fights, man. A lot of really solid fights. But look, man, we got 275 people in the building, so we can get to chopping it up about these fights. Hold on one second. This motherfucker True King Boxing said, perfect time for live stream. I just smoked a massive doobie.
Jesus.
You must be a white boy, dog. You just said a massive doobie. Massive doobie. Yes, I like some shit like they used to say when I was a kid. Man, we're gonna smoke a doobie, man. They call them blunts now. I think. Felix Nunez. Hey, but enjoy that mug, man. We're gonna talk this boxing. Felix Nunez said, "Great sight to see a real champ holding the belts." Yes, sir. All right, man. So let's start the card. Let's start the conversation about the card, man. What did you think? What's going on, Renee Box Young? Oh yeah, that was an ugly knockout, man. But let's start with Jamal, man. Let's start with Jamal. What is this? Fannon, BFTB dedicated a show to a multi-directional vision of Mars. What is a multi-directional vision of Mars? I don't understand, man. You gotta let me know what that is. Neary didn't look. Big Dog Willie said Neary looked bad last night. Yeah, I mean it was his first time with his coach, so I'm not really tripping. Fannon, meaning if they could fight them, they did. They should have compensated Canelo. Got $30 million for powder cakes. Oh yeah, without a doubt, man. But that's just the world we live in, where somebody would get that much money for trash. But he was also in a good situation, because that was, it was kind of like timing got that contract for Canelo, because he was just coming off of a rumored $32 million payday for the Gennady Golovkin, for the second Gennady Golovkin fight, and HBO went out of business. So, he had 2 fights in a row or maybe 3 fights in a row where Canelo had earned over $35 million. So that's what DAZN wound up paying him for his deal. But like I told y'all, though, that more than likely they were not going to refile that case. People were acting like that LLC thing was something small. That shit wasn't something small. That made me feel like they were bluffing to begin with. So they're gonna be back over there at DAZN with a pay cut, with a healthy pay cut. But what was your take on what's the first fight of the evening that was? Did you see Omar Figueroa? Or not Omar Figueroa, the Figueroa fight? Brandon Figueroa at 122 pounds.
No, that one I missed.
Okay, well, let's just go with Jamal and Jamal then. So let's go with Jamal. All right, man. What was your take on the fight with Jamal and Sergey? Did you think that he proved the point that he's one of the best 160s?
Absolutely, he did. First of all, Derevyanchenko's a dog, man. That guy's a dog, and if you don't believe that, go back and watch that Gennady Golovkin fight. Watch the Gennady Golovkin fight.
Oops, and I forgot fucking BFT. Sorry, I forgot. I wanted to get KQKC. I forgot KQKC. Go ahead,
watch the Gennady Golovkin fight, and then look at what happened to him last night. And I don't want to hear about Gennady probably took something out of him. No, he took something out of Gennady Golovkin. All right, if we're going based off of that, all right, Derevyanchenko is right there in front of him. Right there in front of him, man. And he had some moments in that fight, just some. But he ended up looking like a Toro Gaddy. And that's a compliment, but not quite. I mean, he looked like Gaddy in the face, but he also looked like Gaddy in the effort. Meaning, Gaddy was always an ass whooping waiting to happen, depending on who he was in the ring with. All right, we love watching him. We love watching his work ethic. But at the end of the day, when he fought a good boxer, he got his ass kicked. And that's the long and short end of it. Derevyanchenko, man, was right there in front of him. He never gave up. I mean, I was just wondering, did he like uppercuts with his French fries, man? How many uppercuts did he eat? Did he eat last night? A lot, man. That was ridiculous. But listen, man. There was a lot of people, believe it or not, that was picking Derevyanchenko for the upset. A lot of people.
But you know why that is, right?
Why is that?
And I thought about it right before it came in. It's because there's the superior species. Because the Eastern European superior species.
Yeah, how could I forget? How could I forget?
Like Paulie Malignaggi, like, dog, alert, Paulie. Guess what, Paulie? Paulie, player.
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 Yo, player.
But you know how it works with Paulie. That counts as a draw because he didn't knock him out.
Yup. And I bet you he'll find rounds to give him. Derevyanchenko. Find rounds to give him.
Oh my God, man. Al Bernstein. I can't forget Al Bernstein.
I didn't hear shit because oh, by the way, I watched it on mute. I ain't hear shit.
God. Let me tell you, you were smart to do that shit.
What that guy do?
Oh my God, man.
I can't tell you shit about the commentary because I watch shit on mute nowadays. But go ahead. What'd he say?
Hey, much love in that super chat, Corey McGowan. Thank you so much for the support. Man, it was so lopsided. It was ridiculous. Oh. If you would have been listening just to Al Bernstein, you would have sworn that Sergey Derevyanchenko was winning like every round. Because they were like, look at what a great job he does doing this. And you see how he's listening to his coach and he's coming in different angles and he's not just coming in. Oh, and look how well he's taking those uppercuts and look how well he's his eyes are swelling up and shutting up. And wow, look how color coordinated his pants are. I mean, that's a real special talent, Oh, come my God. Dog on. Wow.
Oh my God. When all you can do.
It was at a point, dude. I think that even he recognized what he was doing because in the next fight, he was like, well, maybe we're, might be giving, the opponent a little bit more credit because they're doing better than we expect. Like, yeah, Al, you spent the entire fight complimenting Sergey Derevyanchenko while his eyes were blowing up in front of you. I was like, dude, this guy got a gash here. One eye is almost completely shut. The other eye is shutting by the minute. He's getting popped back. His chin is getting popped back with jab after jab after jab. And oh my God, all Al Bernstein could talk about was what a great job Sergey Derevyanchenko was doing. It was like, dude, are you rooting for this motherfucker or what?
Of course he was. That's disgusting. See, I ain't hear all that. See, and that's why I mute the goddamn TV. That's why. Shit like that. How the fuck you say, oh my God, look how well he's beating up his fists with his face. Oh my God, the heart of Derevyanchenko. See, I can't take shit like that. Call it what it is.
Yes, the heart of Derevyanchenko's speech for like the whole fucking fight. I was sitting back like I like at a point in time, dude, the shit got to be like a joke. Because I was like, this dude just doesn't see. Because I thought it was like he was hating. Like, no, he doesn't hate. He's just got some fucking notes. And he was going to say all this shit about Sergey Derevyanchenko, but he took a bunch of notes about Sergey Derevyanchenko and kept stuck. Like he has these, how he has those keys to victory?
Yeah.
Like he's stuck so close to his key to victory. Like he was sitting, this motherfucker would say shit like, Jamal's not pumping the jab. I'm like, he just hit his ass with 6 jabs. What the fuck are you talking about? Literally. He'd be like, well, Jamal's not working the jab anymore. Like he literally just sit this dude's head back 3-4 times with a jab, dog. He would just pop. Didn't say a word about it. It was more, it's like he was behind on replay or something, man. It was crazy, dude.
Did he once mention that he can't get out of the way of an uppercut for nothing?
No, he didn't. Matter of fact, he did the exact opposite. When what's his name? When Derek James was in the corner, because you know how you can hear the corner. That's why I listen, because you can hear the corners now, like clear, like you're right in the corner. So Derek James was talking about I'm sorry, that's not, it was Ronnie Shields. Yeah, Ronnie Shields was like, he's getting closer. He's like, yeah, he's getting closer. I'm gonna start being able to start hitting with him. He's like, yeah, look for that uppercut. He's like, I'm waiting for him just to get a little closer. So his ass started getting a little closer, and Bernstein started criticizing him for coming too close. Like, are you a commentator or are you a trainer? Which are you? CVP Junior in that super chat, man. Thank you so much for your support. Big Dog Willie said Sergey actually won 15 rounds to nothing. Yeah, it sounded like it. Shit, it sounded like it. But so anyway, back to Sergey Deverenchenko, man. Do you think that? How do you compare the performance, Jamal's performance with Sergey to the other people that have fought Sergey, like Daniel Jacobs and Gennady Golovkin, like the way that he looked in the ring with them?
Sergey was in both of those fights against Jacobs, against well, actually, let me start here. I always get nervous when I see Danny Jacobs in the ring with a European. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Because we know what happened to him years ago, prior to his surgery. When he fought, oh man, what's that guy's name? Oh man, he knocked him out on HBO.
Who you talking about?
Danny Jacobs. Put it in the chat. Yeah, knocked out Danny Jacobs years ago.
Dmitry Pirov.
Yeah, Dmitry Pirov. Now that guy was going to be something special if he didn't have back problems. But you always get nervous when Danny gets in the ring with a European. How about that, Paulie? All right, I'm throwing you a bone, Paulie, asshole. But anyway, Deverenchenko was never in any kind of trouble like we saw last night. A 12-round beating like that, it can be worse than a knockout. It can be, because knockouts just come. And the fighter can get up off the floor after the fight and say, you know what, if I didn't do that, maybe that wouldn't have happened. But when you end a fight for 12 rounds and there ain't shit you could do, you understand there wasn't shit that he could do with Jamal last night? That's bad. You'd rather get knocked out. And I know he ain't want to quit. Gennady Golovkin knocked his ass on the ground. Under any other circumstances, pretty much when Gennady has you like that, it's over. He came back in that fight and was in it, and a lot of people say he won it. All right, Gennady don't want no smoke with Deverenchenko. Danny Jacobs, same thing. You know, he wouldn't fight Deverenchenko unless he really, really had to. That shit was tough. He got in there with Maul, man. Look, he couldn't do nothing with Maul. I was looking at the fight and looking to say, all right, maybe if he does this, nope. All right, maybe if he goes this way, nope, uppercut. Maybe if he comes in, nope, uppercut. Oh, there go the eye. They go to cut. Nope, uppercut, uppercut. Oh my God. I'm like, shit, man. If I'm in this corner, y'all really thought they were gonna around round 11. I really thought they were gonna stop the fight. I really did. Because there was nothing he could do. There was no strategy. I couldn't hear shit anyway. But there was nothing that I could see to tell him that I would tell him to do to get Maul out of there. First of all, I forgot Maul's a big motherfucker.
Huge.
He's a fucking big dude. And I'm looking at him like, wow. The height was a problem. So he had to close the distance. And then when he closed the distance, the bigger man stole uppercuts. I mean, what the fuck? And stylistically, what could he do? He couldn't do nothing from the outside. Then we get on the inside, he eating uppercuts all night long. Then he couldn't see. Then he's getting cut. What could you do? I would love to have heard, was Corny even speaking English? I would love to have heard, no, he couldn't have been speaking English. His English is bad. Right? But stylistically, there was nothing he could do. Maul is a problem. Maul is a problem. And I'm going to tell you what, Canelo, now I'm going to say you did right by staying away from him. I don't care what any of your fans say. I don't want to hear, oh, what has he done? What did Maul do to deserve a fight? What did Chavez Jr. deserve? What did he do to deserve a goddamn pay-per-view with Canelo? Why people do that? What did Amir Khan do? Amir Khan, that's all he is. He's Amir Khan of a fighter. Get the fuck out of here. What did he do? Stop playing with us, man. I know why you avoided Charlo now. We know now. We know now. Get out of here, man. Come on, man. There was nothing to do. I'm thinking of 160 right now. I think he beats Danny. I know Danny pressed him at in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I saw that. You know, Danny got hard, but I think Danny gets his ass beat. I think Gennady Golovkin gets his ass beat. I think Canelo Alvarez gets his ass beat. There's no one I can think of right now, as of last night, that could beat Charlo in that division. None. These guys are punching bags.
That's going to be really tough, man. The thing that stood out for Jamal, for me, man, that left hand is something nasty. Like his jab, his left hook, his left uppercut. Like there was whole rounds. It seemed like there was whole minutes of rounds where he was just pistol whipping Sergey with just his left hand. And the big thing is he was waiting for that right hand to drop on him. It was just he's just a different level fighter from Sergey Derevyanchenko. As far as like the difference between the fights and how they like the performance, you know, I mean, people can say that, and most likely will say that Derevyanchenko had already been beat up, but he didn't really get beat up that bad against Daniel Jacobs. I think Daniel Jacobs won the fight, but he didn't really get beat up. He didn't really get beat up that bad. It was a kind of a brutal fight with Gennady Golovkin though. But Jamal Charlo, man, he could have very well have dropped him twice. He caught himself when that little bunny hop and kept himself from going down. But I also like about Jamal, dude, is that he's so patient. And he can fight on the inside, he can fight on the outside. His defense is excellent. Like even like being on the inside with somebody that was that much shorter than him, the way that he could get underneath, dip underneath shots, and slip shots, and could really read the combinations. He was just seemed to me to be like, you know, he was equal to Derevyanchenko as a fighter, but then the size and the strength added on top of that just made it something that it was just way too much for him, man. And I agree with you as far as like Demetrius Andrade goes. I think that fight like now looks even tougher for Demetrius Andrade for me. Just because, man, just the strength of Jermell Charlo and the speed of Jermell. Jermell's got just like both of those dudes got extremely fast hands. And they vary the speeds of their punches, but their shots are just very thudding. They're very sharp. And yeah, man, I hope now, even though I don't fully expect it, but I hope now that people will stop acting like Jamal Charlo doesn't deserve a fight with Canelo Alvarez, because now after that's the only fight that matters at 160 pounds. And it's more important than the Gennady Golovkin fight with Canelo. It's more important than any of that crap going on at 168 pounds that might include Canelo. So, you know, just make the fight, man. But hopefully the media and everybody will give Jamal, you know, the credit that Jamal deserves on that, man, because dude, he's beaten like Korobov. Korobov was a really tough fight for him. And Sergey Derevyanchenko is a tough fight for him. And he looked like he got better and learned from the learned from the Korobov fight and then improved, man. Just looked absolutely terrific and beat a dude up as bad as you could possibly beat him up, you know, without knocking him down, man. What are your thoughts on the jab of Jamal Charlo, man? Specifically, like the tools that he has. I think that jab might be one of the best in boxing. What's your take?
I believe it, man. I'm just overall impressed, man. Their demeanor outside of the ring, if you're seeing them for the first time, it doesn't match what you see in the ring. I mean, the way they are outside of the ring and all those highlights and them on Instagram screaming and hollering and shit, and then you see them in the ring, you're thinking you're gonna get some guys that just run out there and start throwing caution to the wind and trying to take your head off. Nah, those guys are poised. They set shit up and they pump that jet. Yo, man, listen, I was very impressed. Now they turn into those animals when they get you in trouble, though. But they're still patient, though. You understand what I'm saying? They're still patient. And they're well disciplined, man. They act their age in the ring, is what I'm saying. I was very impressed with that jab. Man, you know what? I'm not gonna say it. But that jab sets up everything, man. They stuck to the core fundamentals, man. The core fundamentals. That jab set up everything. And another thing that I saw that I did like, did you see how he hooks off the jab though? Yeah. Did you see that? Oh my God. That was a work of beauty. I love that. Man. Those guys show discipline, man. And you know what's very underrated that no one talks about? they got some chins on them, man. They got some really good chins. I seen them get hit with some shit. And again, my TV was on mute. And I know it was a loud pop. There was a part where Derevyanchenko hit him with a hook. I think it was like in round 6. As a matter of fact, I gave Derevyanchenko 3 rounds, and I think the 6th round was one of them. He hit him with 2 hooks. And Mal took a step back. And I looked at him. I said he wasn't even glassy. And those are some really good shots, man. I said, man, that kid got a chin on him. But that jab is something else. And I like how he throws the hook off the jab. Like, he does like a small feint. And then he'll throw the hook, hit you right on the brick of your nose, man. Sharp textbook, man. Textbook, man. I'm really... Those guys, if I wasn't a fan, they made me fans last night, man. Really good stuff, man. Really, really good stuff I saw.
Yeah, man. I Jamal looks terrific, man. And okay, so I'm gonna say Ushi Nawasoria. Jamal has just put more panic in that division. Jamal is such a complete fighter that Canelo or GGG would keep avoiding him. Yeah, man. I hope the pay-per-view numbers do well. That would be great. But yeah, man. Well, Gennady Golovkin just don't want no part of him, man. And now, see, this is something I want to say though. Both those Charlo brothers deserve to be on those pound for pound lists, man. Jamal Charlo now deserves to be there, dude, because you got Gennady Golovkin on that list, and they've got Canelo Alvarez on that list, and neither one of those dudes, man. Jamal Charlo has just proven, dude, that he's a 2-division champion. He's 54-pound division champion, 160-pound division champion. That dude just beat the tar out of one of the top 4 middleweights in the world, dude. And these other dudes, like, what's his name, lost. Gennady Golovkin already lost to Canelo Alvarez, and a lot of people think he lost to Sergey Derevyanchenko. Dude, he hasn't looked good in years. It's time to get him off, man, and put Jamal up on there, man, and give those dudes his credit, man, because they're talking about being the best twins, like since the Klitschko's or whatever. I think that they might actually be able to do more damage than the Klitschko's because they're in 2 separate divisions, and they really have an opportunity if boxing would act right to be the first undisputed. Well, I don't know whether they're 2 twins that were ever champions at the same time. Well, definitely not the Klitschko's. They weren't undisputed champions at the same time because they were in the same weight class. But you have guys like Jamal. Jamal is just 1 step away from being undisputed at 154 pounds. And Jamal, if it wasn't for, man, something wrong with my phone, man. This thing goes out of power like. It's just like dying. Yeah, so I just think that dude deserves a lot more credit, man, than he's gotten before. And hopefully he'll get it. Marcus Herbold said GGG is falling on that list, though. Yeah, but see, he's on the list.
They're keeping him there.
Mikey Garcia at a point in time was on that list. They had Mikey Garcia was on the pound for pound list at the time.
For what?
Carlos Estrada's on the pound for pound list. And Charlo ain't got to move up to fight Plant. Jamal Charlo is a 160-pound fighter, dude. He does not have to move up to 168, even though he is big enough to go up to 168 pounds, man. But he shouldn't have to move up. He should be able to stay right there at 160 pounds because Gennady Golovkin's not moving up. And Canelo Alvarez ain't really moving up, man. He might fight one of them bums. Like, he might be like, oh, let me fight Callum Smith or Liam Walsh. And it ain't going to be the best fighters now because he might be taking a $17 million pay cut. But what's your take, Drew, on Canelo and Jamal in the pound for pound conversation?
I mean, my stance stays the same on Canelo, man. I don't have him on no goddamn list because the guy popped dirty, man. The guy popped dirty. I remember when he dumped the belt before he was supposed to fight Gennady Golovkin the first time. I don't forget shit like that, man. So you want to put him on there? Why? He popped dirty, man. You're DQ'd for me. All right, you got him on the pound for pound list for what? Knocking out Amir Khan? as much good as you could say Canelo has, I could mention something that's bad. Okay, his best win is his loss to Floyd Mayweather. How about that? Since we want to throw discredit, or since we want to discredit people, man, why Jamal and Jamal got to jump through hoops to say, okay, now they're on the pound for pound list? Why you got to go up to 168 to make a point when they just throw guys like Chocolatito on there? You know, I had no idea who the fuck he was until HBO started giving him all this praise, and then when I paid attention to him, I said, okay, the kid's all right. Then he gets knocked the hell out. And I'm like, okay, what happened? What now? What now? You know what I'm saying? Why these black fighters got to jump through all these hoops just to get just to get a little bit of shine? You throwing Inouye on there for what? He struggled against oh God, why am I having a brain fart? Donaire. He struggled against Donaire. Meanwhile, I was at Radio City Music Hall when Donaire got the shit kicked out of him for 12 rounds by Rigo. I was there for that. That was an ass whooping. And this guy knew he gets in there and struggles with him. But yeah, let's throw him on the pound for pound list ahead of both Charlos.
Oh, he had been there, but he had been there for years.
It's the type of shit I'm talking about.
Monster Inoue has been on that pound for pound list for a couple years now.
Who did he beat of note that made me turn my head? I didn't even care. I didn't even care about this kid.
Nobody, because he fights at a fart weight. Ain't nobody watching those dudes fight, man. They got 9 weight classes within 10 pounds of each other, man. Fucking weight class.
From straw weight to bantamweight, it's like 3 pounds for each division. That's why no one cares. You could turn pro at 15, and by the time you're 20, well, actually, by the time you 18, you done grew a little bit. And now you can get a belt like in 8 different weight classes before you're in one that actually matters. Nobody airs straw weight fights. 108 pounds. What grown ass man is 108 pounds? By the way, get the fuck out of here. Don't no one care about that. But you throwing them on you trying to give these guys credit ahead of the people that have actually done something. I'm not giving Canelo any more credit. Is what I'm saying. Can the kid fight? Yes. Now, can you fight somebody now? You want to say Charlo ain't deserve a fight against Canelo? Please look at his fucking resume. Do the same thing with Gennady Golovkin. Oh, what did Charlo do to deserve a Golovkin fight? What did Wade do? Huh? What did Willie Monroe do? I remember the only selling point that they had for the Willie Monroe fight was that somehow I think he was related to Marvin Hagler by marriage, or related to somebody that fought Marvin Hagler by marriage. Something like that. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They're reaching. And that was right around the time when Fable Sanchez said, oh, black fighters don't sell. Oh, we fought black fighters. We fought one of the chin checkers. Remember that? Yeah, we fought black fighters. You fought the guys that didn't fucking matter. How about the guys that are actually saying your name? When someone calls you out, man, and they're within their rights, he was supposed to stop the Charlo train 2 years ago before it got started. Maybe if Gennady had done that, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation now, because then they would have that shit to hold over our heads. Oh, look, well, he fought Charlo, he beat him. No. Marketing scheme. Look where it got you, Fable. Dumped your ass. He reminded you what color you were. But let's not go there. Let's not take the show over there. Let's not go there.
Black Swan. Dog, you first of all, man, look, Inoue is a champ in 3 divisions. No, he is not a champ in 3 divisions. He's a champ in 1 division. Okay? He's not holding the belt all at the same time. Also, the division that Monster Inoue is as a champion, and good job, Monster. Good job for your 3 belts. Hey, clap, clap, clap. 108 pounds, where there are less than 25 world-class fighters on the planet. Okay, at 108 pounds. Go look at BoxRec and go look at all of the fighters that are ranked by BoxRec at light flyweight, which is 108 pounds. And you will see that there are no more than 20 world-class fighters. There are no more than 250 light flyweight fighters in the world. And of those 250, 190 of them have no more than one fight, no more than 2 fights. Okay.
Jesus.
So of all the light 108 pound fighters that there are in the world, there may be, again, 20 world-class fighters, period, let alone top-notch fighters. Because again, who weighs 108 fucking pounds? Nobody. So that's the weight division that you're trying to give Monster Inoue credit for. But Monster Inoue also won at 115 and 118 pounds. When he got up to 118 pounds, dude, that is what, 10 pounds between 108 and 118. He's not undisputed or unified in any of them. Or is he unified? Maybe he's unified. He might have unified in the World Boxing Super Series. And that's a good record. But it's still a domestic level fight because there's not enough fighters for it to be considered a real weight class. In the welterweight class, in the welterweights, there's over 1,400 world-class welterweights in the world. Over 1,400. 1,400. Not 200. And how many world-class, how many top world-class welterweights are there? I don't know. There's probably more world-class level welterweights than there are world-class fighters between 105, 108, 112, and 115. Because there's just that many human beings that are able to weigh in at 147 pounds. Because really, anything below 147 pounds as a grown man, you are an itty-bitty ass dude. Okay? And there's just not a lot of itty-bitty dudes around because, hey, man, this is not how it goes. So sorry. Monster Inoue does not. And if you look at how Monster Inoue fights, dude, with his head stuck up in the air, having difficulties like that with Nonito Donaire, man, just give me a kick rocks with all of that Monster Inoue nonsense. And you ain't even seen a dude fight. If you're from the United States, you ain't seen that dude fight live 5 times. You probably saw him fight live on what? Superfly 1 or Superfly 2, whichever one he was on HBO, and then you might have seen him fight live in the World Boxing Super Series. But you ain't seen any of the other guys that Monster Inoue was fighting for you to be telling me who he beat. I can name champions at 147. You can name off like their last 10, 11 fights. And then of the guys that they fought, you can name 3, 4, 5 of their fights. Because it's a real weight class. Those things are called the Japanese weight classes for a reason. Because that's a domestic level. It's a domestic level fight. You might as well consider the 105 and 108 pound divisions like the UK's Commonwealth belts. Daniel Dubois is the champion. He's the British Commonwealth champion, and he may go on to win a world championship, dude. But nah, I'm not going to believe Monster Inoue till Monster Inoue hits at least 122 pounds. At least 122 pounds. And that's not that big a jump from 108. 108 to 122 is what, 14 pounds? And he's probably fighting at 108 when he was like 16. Man, who has that many midgets, man? I'm telling you, I get sick of that, man. You're just trying to run these, you see how big Jason Rosario was throwing, the heat. You can't be taking all them damn punches at middleweight and 154 pounds. You ever watch them little guys fight, Drew? See how many punches they take?
Throw like 105 punches in a round, man.
Yeah, they eating punches, and they're eating them because they're getting hit by guys that are 108 pounds. And then Monster Inoue has some power for a guy that's 108 pounds. But dog, he is not going to have, when he gets up to where he doesn't have to drain down and become anorexic to fight, up at 122 dude, he's the same size as Gary Russell Jr., man. He's not that much small. He's not that much smaller than Gary Russell Jr. Matter of fact, I think they're the same height and the same length. Yeah, Monster's 27, but I'm saying he's been fighting. He fought down at, he's been a pro since 2012. He's been a pro 8 years. And he's got 19 fights in 8 years.
Never heard of him until they mentioned him. Wasn't even checking for him.
And nor would you ever have reason to hear from him. Until he actually fights somebody. Fannon, can we diss WBO and say Mel is undisputed? If Fury was lineal, Mel, damn show undisputed. Nah, you can't do that, dog. You got to make it undisputed. It's got to be undisputed, man. What's your take on that, Shockwave? On what Shockwave got to say, Drew?
Man, fuck all these belts, man. All these, there's too many. I know what he's saying, but I'm just exhausted from a lot of conversations as of late. But
you fell for it, dog.
Yeah, I did. I'm so sorry, man. But all of this shit about lineal, I no longer give a fuck. Just shut the fuck up and fight. That's my status. When you got two guys and we're talking about who's better, fine. There's only one way to find out. This is boxing. Get their asses in the ring. I no longer want to talk about the business of boxing. I'm exhausted. Fuck that. I'm not doing it no more. Ever again. I don't even want to talk about these belts because there's 1,001 of them. I mean, I seen Mel leaving with all those straps yesterday. I didn't care. The green belt, the one that looked like the gay pride belt. What the fuck was that? I think that was the ring belt. Look, I don't care about any of that. All I see with all those belts around these fighters, those are sanctioning fees. The more belts they got, the more sanctioning fees they got to pay. That's bad. That's bad. All right. Just remember, I don't like saying this guy's name, but Carlos Baldomir won a title.
You got a problem saying Carlos Baldomir's name?
Because he's a pedophile. He's in prison right now. He's in prison right now for doing something to his daughter.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's horrible. But that guy, he won a title and had to vacate it because he couldn't afford the goddamn fees. You understand? I mean, shit like that. Just remember, though, these fighters, some of these guys got day jobs, man. They're not making all these millions of dollars. If you make $3 million in a night, and after everybody get done with you, and then you got to pay the sanctioning bodies of 6 figures to hold that belt. Do you really give a shit about that belt? We don't pay to see the belt. We pay to see the talent, man. So, Maul and Mel, they're making pretty good money, so they can afford those sanctioning fees. But my thing is, why pay them, man? Fuck these titles, man. And I don't care about these. Look, why don't we just say this? This guy cleaned out the division. This guy should be fighting this guy. Fuck these titles, man. It's a farce, man. I don't give a fuck about who's lineal. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit anymore. That's just another talking point. That's just another fucking point that these dudes use to protect their favorite fighter. And I'm not saying the brother that made that comment is doing that. I'm just saying, really think about this. Really think about this. Wilder and AJ. Remember the argument? Oh, well, AJ got 3 belts. Wilder only has 1.
Yeah, AJ had 4 belts according to the UK dudes.
This is what I'm saying. Shit like that. And it's like, wait a minute. We know the truth. We know the truth. How did he get those belts? All of those were set up fights. That was business, man. So now he got 3 belts. Deontay had 1. Never mind the fact that Deontay had that 1 that quote unquote mattered for all those years. And that means nothing to his 3 belts, quantity versus quality. So I'm just done with the conversation. I want to see this fella fight this fella. Bottom line. You think this guy could win? He has his fans. This guy has his fans that says they think that guy could win. The only way to get to the bottom of it, have these motherfuckers fight. I don't give a fuck about status. I don't give a shit about, oh, well, I got this title and I got the silver belt, the diamond belt. These are made up titles, man. These are more ways for the WBC and the IBO and the NABO and the NBA on ABC. All these motherfuckers, this is more ways for them to take money out these fighters' pockets, man. Fuck that. We want to see these guys fight. Bottom line, I don't give a fuck about no link. I don't care about none of that shit no more. That's a talking point that should have died in the 90s. Because now they're using that shit as a tool to posture. And us as fans, we get suckered into that shit. Do you understand we shouldn't be talking about money? Do you understand we shouldn't be talking about who got what belt? I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Arturo Gatti barely had a belt in his career. But for some reason, he had a fan base that loved to see him fight. That's the type of shit we need to be on. That's the type of shit that we need to be on. I don't give a shit about who got what belt and what status. Status don't mean dick to me. I don't care about none of that shit. Fuck that shit, man. I don't care about none of that shit. Fight. Shut up and fight. Boxing over bullshit.
Hey, man, I say fight Shashira. I want to see somebody tote them 4 belts so they got to get that dude his credit. But I say fight Shashira, man. Get the 4th belt if you can. Because who else is he gonna beat? Everybody else. He pretty much just killed the whole 154-pound division. That's just a wrap. I mean, he literally just cleaned out a whole division. Just last night, cleaned out the division. Because everybody in the division has now lost, to somebody connected to him. Because he beat Rosario, who beat J-Rock, and who beat Hurd. He beat Harrison. He beat Lubin. His brother beat J-Rock. His brother already beat J-Rock too. So it's like, dude, he is the man at 154 pounds. And that's like let me say that I don't think there's anybody else that's the case in a weight class. I think he might be the only one that is really like owns that weight class. At heavyweight, it's not the case. At cruiserweight, I don't think that shit's the case, even though I saw that boo-boo ass, garbage ass fight between Zortikos and Garcia, but it's like cruiserweight is like who the fuck cares weight class?
No one cares about that.
Like, can you just get rid of cruiserweight? Like, nobody cares about cruiserweight, man. Like, nobody cares about cruiserweight. It's like it's a weight division that like has not had it's had 2 decent fights. I'm exaggerating here, but I don't think by much. 2 meaningful fights in the last 20 years. Like it might have had 2 meaningful fights in the last 20 years.
I don't even recall them.
Please, can we get rid of that daggone cruiserweight belt, man? But man, I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him do it. Isaiah Jones in that super chat said the Charlo brothers will never get full credit. We both know why. Well, look, man, they have got to get it now. They have got to get it now. They are the two of the best fighters in the world. There's no way anybody can tell me what they saw out of Jamal Charlo. And we'll move to the Jamal conversation now. After we get a couple more comments on Jamal, but there's nothing that anybody can tell me to make me believe that honest commentators do not see those are 2 of the best fighters in the world. I don't believe that these guys actually think that Gennady Golovkin is a better fighter than Jamal Charlo is, or Arthur Beterbiev is a better fighter than Jamal Charlo is, or Jamal Charlo is. Those guys are top notch as far as their talent level. They're top notch as far as their experience level. They're top notch, and as far as now who they've beaten, it's top notch. I mean, Daniel Jacobs. Who's Daniel Jacobs beaten? He beat Sergey Devenchenko, right? We got knocked out by Demetrius Pirog, lost to Canelo Alvarez. Well, now Jamal Charlo has done exactly what was necessary to get a fight with Canelo Alvarez by beating Korobov and by beating Derevianchenko, because those are the level of fighters that Canelo was fighting. Those are the level of fighters that Daniel Jacobs fought and Gennady Golovkin's fought. Shit, matter of fact, dude, what's the best win in Gennady Golovkin's career? It's either going to be Devenchenko or Daniel Jacobs. One or 2 of those guys are the best wins in Gennady Golovkin's career.
His draw with Canelo.
So Jamal Charlo's equaled that now. So I'm sure that they'll be able to give that dude his credit, right? And Jermell, come on, man, that dude is definitely one of the top five fighters in the world. Then you cannot tell me that there's somebody in their weight class. So there's 4 other people in their weight classes that are dominating their weight classes like Jermell Charlo is dominating his. Lomachenko was not dominating 135 pounds more so than Jamel is dominating 154 pounds. Errol's not dominating 147 as much as Jamel's dominating 154 pounds. Juan Carlos Estrada, Juan Carlos Estrada, he's down there at 118. He's down there with Norabino Bali. He's in the same weight class as Bali. And Monster Inoue. And he lost to Chocolatito. He's only on there because he beat Saul Roivasai. And Saul Roivasai lost. And Saul Roivasai's lost. Ain't none of them little midget ass dudes, little fart weight, bad breath divisions controlling shit like Jamel Charlo's controlling the 154-pound division. Who's got a better defense? They got better defense. Like, even if you look at the scoring criteria of boxing. Does Monster Inoue have better defense than Jamel Charlo? Hell no.
Nope.
Does he have better ring generalship than Jamel Charlo? Hell no. Does he have more clean, effective punching than Jamel Charlo? Maybe a tie. But not any more so. Effective aggressiveness, even at the very least, it's even. Jamal's knocking everybody out. And he's knocking everybody out when he's fighting guys that have the power to knock him out. Not down there like doing what he's doing against guys that can't bust a grape. You know what I mean? So, dude, man, it's time for them to recognize Jamel for sure, Jamel. Jamal, it's time for these dudes to stop making excuses and make Canelo Alvarez stop playing this Canelo Alvarez fantasy game where it's Canelo Alvarez and nobody else matters. Nah, man, it's not Canelo and nobody else. It's Carmelo. It's Canelo. It's Canelo, and it's the dude he been ducking since 154-pound Jamal Charlo. Because those dudes came in the pros together. They're fighting at 154 pounds together. I think they might have been champions in the division at the same time. But there's no fight in 154. Then he moves to 160. And Canelo, he becomes the mandatory for Canelo Alvarez. And they create a franchise belt to keep him away from Canelo Alvarez away from Jamal Charlo. And now Jamal Charlo didn't even take his... Now, what kind of dude is Jamal Charlo, dude, where he picked Sergey Derevyanchenko to fight, and it wasn't even his mandatory. He took him, somebody that Canelo got stripped of his IBF belt for refusing to fight.
Yep.
So how can Jamal Charlo not be considered with that in that breath? So again, Jamel, top 5 pound for pound, stop lying. Anything short of that, you lying. Anything short of that, you lying. Because he's got 3 of the belts. And he did it by disgustingly devastating knockout, made the dude boo-boo his pants all in front of everybody. Just, you saw his bowels just clear. It was terrible. It was terrible. So, dog, no more of this, dude. Jamel, top 5 pound per pound, stop lying. Okay, stop lying. He's right there with Errol. He's right there with Terence Crawford, for sure. He's right there with Errol. He is right there with Terence Crawford, for sure. He is right there with Vasily Lomachenko. He is right there with Canelo Alvarez, if you got Canelo Alvarez cheating ass up in there. Because he's beaten every style. Jamel is whooped every style. He has whooped the boxer. He's whooped the boxer. He's whooped the slugger. Come on, man. He's just, dog, for real. He's beaten Erickson Lubin, the southpaw. Beats the southpaw up-and-coming fighter. Beats the come-forward fighter in Jason Rosario. Man, nah, dude. Beat Austin Trout. Shit. Who hasn't he beaten at 154? And he fought everybody, man. And he avenged the loss. Come on, man. You got to give that dude his credit. Got to give his credit. And Jamal, it's time for y'all to stop acting like he don't exist, man. He exists. And you all know it. The Zone knows it. ESPN knows it. These boxing commentators know it. All y'all know it, man. Get a man his credit and make the great fights, okay? Because he's now been on pay-per-view, okay? And I bought it. I was happy. Hey, did you feel like you got your money's worth out of that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I did not feel like I got ripped off last night. For real, for real. I had a good old time last night. Last night was what it was all about. That was what it was all about. I enjoyed everything that I got sat my eyes on, man. I really, really did, man. I did not feel that I waste my money at all. Watched the fuck on mute. You know what I'm saying? I even had me a beer last night for the first time in God knows how long. Nice. Very nice.
Enjoyable. Nate the Great, and that thank you for joining the channel, man. Thank you so much. So let's move on to Jamal, though. Let us now move on to Jamal.
Let's get it. Oh. Man. Listen. Did
that knockout? Was it nastier than Dillian White?
I'd say Dillian White was more refreshing. But I stood up and I said, what the hell's wrong with him? Because I got kind of scared. Whenever you see a fighter doing that shit on the floor, I'm like, did he just punch him in the appendix and burst it? I didn't know what that was. But I want you guys to understand something. You just watched someone get knocked out with a body shot. A jab to the body did that. A jab. All right? A jab to the body. And that was the end of it. But prior to that, he dropped him in the first round off a shot off the temple. After that, he did the stanky leg. I forgot what round that was. Okay?
Oh,
then he
knocks him. when he slid up out the ring.
Yeah.
His foot slid up off that apron, dang near slid up out that ring.
Yeah, that was the first knockdown. The second knockdown was the hook, the short hook on the inside, the left hook on the inside, caught him on the brick of the nose, made him do the stanky leg. That was the second knockdown. That was a work of art. And I want you guys to understand something, okay? That right there, the body of work, man. Listen, Jason Rosario did not come in there to lay down. I knew what the strategy was. He was trying to walk Melo down. Melo down. He's trying to walk him down. He was trying to walk him down, put him on the back foot. He was trying to zap his confidence from him. That's what he was trying to do. Make the dog walk backwards, trying to make him put him in a position that he never seen before. All right. And Jason had the tools. He definitely had the size. He looked like he was about 170. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He looked big. And for a second, it looked like it was gonna be a problem. But fortunately for Mel, guess what, guys? The man could box. He said, okay, you want to walk me down? Now, being that the fight ended the way it did, was he really walking Mel down, or did he walk his ass into a trap? Think about what I just said. Think about that. Think about what I just said.
So nice, dog. So nice.
Yep. Walked him right into it, okay? For the naked eye, and I can only imagine what the commentary was saying. Oh, this is the first time we've seen Mel on the back foot. He's actually walking him down. And you see, that's something called ring generalship. Right there, that catches the judge's eyes. The judges will see that and they'll say, okay, yeah, we've never seen that before. Okay, all right, so he's winning. All right, but was it clean and effective? Okay, he was a dog. He was fighting him on the inside. I saw the body shots. Again, I couldn't hear the commentary, but I saw what Jason was doing. I said, okay, he's trying to take that. He was trying to to snatch as much air out of that gas tank as he could. He was trying to work the body. I saw the ref threaten to take he didn't take a point, did he?
He never did.
Okay, so he was trying to he was going to make his move around the 10th round. I know exactly what he was doing. He was trying to put together some body shots and hopefully get him to drop his elbows a little bit more so he could bring it up top. And he was going to make his move in the championship rounds, but he never made it. It was a nice plan. Okay, walk the lion down and then try and snatch his mail and break the plate over his head. It ain't work out because Mel can box. Okay, you want to walk forward? Okay, yeah, come on. Yeah, you walking me down. You walking me down. Bing, left hook, stanky leg. All right. Then he comes out and yo, I don't recall seeing anyone getting knocked out with a body shot, a jab at that. I've never seen that. I've never seen a jab, and that was some scary shit. That's some scary shit. I don't care what anyone says. I know somewhere that somebody's saying Jason threw the fight. No. He was trying to win that fight, man.
Oh, you saw his stomach doing that?
Yeah.
His stomach kept flexing.
Yeah, that was serious.
Was convulsing, dog. His shit was whack. He made his muscles start just contracting.
Yeah, you can't fake that. You can't fake that, man. You know, he was trying to win that fight, man. He was coming forward. Every punch that Jason did throw, he was trying to hurt Mel. He really was, man. He was really trying to hurt Mel. He was walking him down, and Mel he played follow the leader, and he clipped him. And I really thought, I didn't know he was gonna knock him out with that body shot. I thought he was gonna walk him into I was looking for an uppercut.
And you know what's wild though? The thing that I thought was wild about that was that he took his time because he hurt him, like he hurt Jason Rosario bad.
He did.
And towards the end of the round. And then the next round, Jamal did not push the gas. He didn't try to jump on him or nothing. He just kept walking, kept letting Rosario walk to him, kept catching him, kept hitting him with body shots. And
you see, Fannon, that's what I'm saying. You know, these guys, if you were seeing them for the first time and seeing them, you know, how they promote themselves outside the ring, you would think that these guys from round one would just be running out there trying to take your head off. These guys are patient. These guys are totally patient. Don't believe that shit that you see outside the ring. These guys know what the fuck they're doing, man. Yes, I thought he was going to jump out there and try and finish the job. He came out, he just took the center of the ring and he stopped. And I said, oh, okay. All right, he's still letting the fight come to him. And look at the results, man. You cannot front on either Charlo. I don't want to hear it, man. But
no, he emptied that gas tank. Let me get these couple of super chats real quick. Yeah. He emptied that gas tank all the way out. It was like, he was like, nah, I'm just going to empty you till you literally fall over from a jab. That is an ass whooping. Matt Green, much love in that super chat, said, Fannon, most of the guys in the top 10 is just media manipulation, BS hype to divert attention from the guys who deserve it. They know who's the best. Yeah, absolutely they do, man. But they don't want to fess it up, and that holds boxing back. Everybody could be making a lot more money if y'all would just tell the truth about who the best are, because then your little hype jobs, because innately, people know you're full of shit. Like innately, when they look like a casual boxing fan, dude, I really truly believe this. If you just spend a little bit of time watching boxing and you know how sports works, the idea that Black American boxers are not the best fucking boxers is fucking ridiculous. It's like saying that the best football players in the world are not black football players, or that the best basketball players in the world are black basketball players. It would be absolutely fucking ridiculous if you try to convince somebody of that shit. They'd be like, you're out your fucking mind. Without a doubt, the best basketball players in the world are black basketball players. And if we had an all-black basketball league, we wouldn't miss a fucking beat. And that's a fact. If the NBA went 100% black African-American from the United States, their revenues would probably go up. They are that motherfucking solid in basketball. Yes, there's a lot of great basketball players that can come in and play and fit in, dog, but for real, there's enough quality basketball players in the United States, black Americans in the United States, where we wouldn't have to recruit outside the United States and we could still dominate. Without a doubt. And the same thing goes for boxing too. But boxing wants to act like that's not the case. Where you see, oh, by the way, we just got 2 more belts. We just picked up 2 more belts last night. And we just dismantled another Eastern European last night. You know, Paulie, the ones that are dominating us. right? Got him entirely the fuck up out of there. Easy money too, with intelligence, with power, with everything that you needed to see in a fighter. You saw with Jamal Charlo and Jermell Charlo. But y'all act like you don't know that they're the best. You see how Jermell Charlo handled that dude. And you don't see that he's the best. That he's one of that he is not a fucking Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor is nowhere near that level of fighter, dude. Josh Taylor is not that level of fighter, man. And if they were the same size, Jermell Charlo would destroy Josh Taylor. Watch Josh Taylor's happy ass pop up on a top 10 pound for pound before Jamal does. Before Jamal. And for me, the only one that there's a question about is Jamal, not Jermell. And Jamal, again, is because y'all won't let him fight. Y'all want to hide. You want to hide and he's right there to become the best dude in the world. Easy. All he got to do is fight him. Gennady Golovkin, man up and fight him. Man up and fight him. Ain't that the guy that's dominating, the Eastern European that's dominating? Man up and fight him, Gennady. Man up and fight him. Daniel Jacobs, man up and fight. Man, matter of fact, fuck Daniel Jacobs. I don't hear that shit. Fuck out. Go fight somebody else. We don't need to you because that's who the fight Daniel Jacobs. We'll see if Daniel Jacobs can knock him off. Keep him away from Gennady. Keep him away from that Canelo. Now, Canelo would be a difficult fight, no doubt. I do believe Canelo is a beast. But dog, come on. We know now that who the competition is for him, and it's not at 168, and it's not at 175. Even though, he ain't about to fight but Beterbiev there anyway. Time Annie up says, salute on Drew in the chat. Mel is undisputed as far as I'm concerned. Fart weight, bad breath division. You on some other shit this morning. That pay-per-view was worth it, dog. I mean, that's what it is. It's fucking, you know what I mean? The gaseous divisions. I don't want to give a shit about them things, man. I mean, like, it's nice to watch, but dude, it's rocket sock'em robots. They don't speak English, and ain't nobody caring about that shit. Anyway, my bad. I took this a little bit off the facts to this day. What's going on, Andre Smith? All right, so Jermell, I think I cut you off. Did you finish on Jermell?
No, I mean, listen, man. With both brothers, man, you're absolutely right. There's no denying their position in the sport right now. There's no denying it. And I normally don't read other bullshit, but I'm just eager at the writing style of some of these people that write these articles. I'm willing to bet that a true hater will spend their time writing a page full of bullshit. Like they'll make reference to Derevyanchenko's heart and his commitment to the game, and at the very bottom they'll say, "Oh yeah, by the way, Jamel won." Derevyanchenko's heart, his outstanding effort against Gennady Golovkin, and how Canelo ducked him. Yeah, but he lost to Charlo. But that's okay. We'll see him again. So it's like, what kind of article am I reading? And I'm sure that there's dozens out there this morning. I'm sure. But, you guys, just watch out for clever writing like that, man. The bigging up of the loser. But I'm telling you, man.
No, for sure.
This is disgusting, man. This is disgusting world we live in, man. So if we're keeping track, that's another European. And this is not no hate toward Derevyanchenko. I'm just saying the presentation and the shit that they try and the way they try to shove these guys in our face to make us believe that these guys are that these guys are something that they aren't, or more than what they are. That's what I'll say.
Hey,
more than what they are. It's disgusting.
1 second. Hey man, come on. We got like 900 people in here and 300 likes. Will y'all not be lazy and hit the like button, man? Okay, it's kind of bananas. There should be 900 of something. All right. As we say, the people that do the super chats pay for the show. Thank you. People that have you see those little green dots and stuff next to like Eclectic Agitator. They're members of the channel. They pay for the channel, right? Dog, wrenches, make sure the trolls, they stay on the job with the wrenches. Okay, with the trolls. If you don't have a wrench, you ain't super chatting or you ain't a channel member, hit the fucking like button. Okay, because that's come on, man. Everybody's up in the morning and play your part, man. Play your part. Hit the like or hit the dislike button. Any way it is, let me know what's going on. Go ahead, Drew, because 300 on 9, that's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, there's 600 people from Showtime ear hustling, man.
Yeah,
that's all that shit is, man.
No, it's 900 legit. It's 900 legit. This is how we roll around these parts in the LDBC. You know what I'm saying? We keep 8, 9 stacked up on the game. But on the real, go ahead and hit that like button, man. Go ahead, Drew. I'm sorry to cut off, man, because they was being disrespectful, man. With not doing the likes, man.
Yeah, stop being lazy, y'all, for real, man. I mean, look, man, you got to watch for clever writing like that. They'll people are very clever. They'll force an agenda and they'll do it cleverly by the way they write it, man. You know, and I'm gonna do some homework. I'm gonna do some research, man. I ain't got shit else to do today, other than hit the gym. But just watch how they try and make reference to what an outstanding effort that Derevyanchenko put up with, man. But what they should be doing right now is putting Canelo in the ring with Charlo, man. Right now, that's what they should be doing. They should be talking about that. Don't nobody want to see a third Golovkin fight. I don't care about that. I don't even care to see Golovkin in the ring with Charlo because we know what's going to happen. And we know what's going to happen so much to the point that Gennady Golovkin knows what's going to happen. He ain't saying his name. And like, again, he has a fight coming up. I have no idea who he putting him in the ring with. And I don't care. The man can retire today and I'd be fine. I'll be fine, okay? I want to see him get his ass whooped. And it's not nothing that he did personally. It's just that the presentation that a lot of media does with these fighters, I mean, they try and beat us in the head. They force this shit on us, and it's disgusting, man. All right, they made Gennady out to be this killer, and the blueprint been out on him. Thank you, Kell Brook. The blueprint been out on him, man. So, you know, stop trying to serve us shit with Monster NUA and all this shit. Look, everyone needs to talk about right now, since we know we make fights are made on the internet, we can say that now. Let's force Canelo versus Charlo.
Don't say fights can be made on the internet, man. Do not bring that shit around me, man.
It's taboo.
It's taboo, dog.
It's taboo now. Shit, man.
I'm so tired of that horse shit. I don't know what to do.
I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak on it. I want Charlo and Canelo. I'm voicing it right now. We need to voice that right now. Canelo, we calling your name now. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. What you doing? Stop fighting those bums manufactured out of Europe. Because you put it like this, Canelo, we give you a compliment. Europe ain't got nothing for you. You beat everybody over there from 160. All right? Even Billy Ho Saunders. How about that? Europe ain't got nothing for you. The beef is right here on this soil in Texas, right next door to Mexico. What you got? Let's go. I'm calling for it right now.
Hey, real question. When was the last time you saw somebody like a world champion, like a middleweight, like somebody in Canelo Alvarez situation that is trying to figure out whether they're going to fight Baldomir, Callum Smith, or who was the other dude that it was looking? I think George Groves was an option. Like, what the fuck is Canelo Alvarez doing with this opponent stuff, man? But before I do that, Damon Wester asks Patrick Teixeira versus Jamal. What's your thoughts, Don? I think that Patrick Teixeira is going to get his ass knocked the fuck out, and that should be the fight that they should go for right away. But I don't think that they'll make the fight. I think that the PBC should buy that belt, come up off the money to make, you know, get Oscar De La Hoya some of that candy. I mean, get him some strippers, some spatula, and some of that candy. You know, sit him down, try to get him to talk. You know, get the mistress of the house to convince him to let that fight get made. You know, get him inebriated and shit, make the fight, pay the money, make the fight, get all 4 of those belts, and then go about fighting the guys that count at 154, because Jared Hurd needs to happen. You know what I mean? Jared Hurd, hey, dude, now everybody got to worry about rematching. Like J-Rock doesn't have to worry about rematching Julian Williams, and Jared Hurd ain't got to worry about rematching J-Rock. Dude, they just got to worry about, getting that ass whipped by Jamal Charlo. And this is a lot of money to be made at 154 if you get an undisputed champion. They should absolutely get their hands on that belt, dog, and they should pay top dollar to get it. They should pay top dollar to get it. Please pay top dollar to get it. So we can have it right there. And then all the belts, it'll wind up getting broken up again. But man, that's a real weight class, dude. This is the best 154 pounds has been in a long time. Where do you compare Jamal Charlo, though, to some of the better 154 pounders like Winky Wright, God, what's my man's name? Jesse Vargas, not Jesse Vargas.
Fernando Vargas.
Fernando Vargas is really good at 154 pounds. I used to really like Kasim Uma at 154 pounds. What do you think? Paul
Williams was there for a second.
Yeah, what do you think Jermell should do next? Let me not go off to that when that was next, but what do you think Jermell should do?
You know what? Nothing but big things.
To see him fight next?
Just fight Teixeira, get it out the fucking way. Just do it. Why not? Do it. That'll be another KO on this record. Just do it. Do it right now. Do it right now and get it out the way. Do it right now and get it out the way. He's gonna get his shit beat in anyway. But after that, shit. Wow. I mean, what is next for him after that?
You gotta start defending them belts.
Yeah, because I was about to say something silly, but not really. I'm like, I was about to say the next step is to go up to 160. Go up to 160.
Brother's there.
Yeah, exactly.
He got to wait for them 147s. He's got to wait for them. He's got to fight. He's got a bunch of fights that can be made. He said the Jared Hurd fight is a good fight. J-Rock is a good fight.
Jared Hurd, that'll be the first fight you'll see Jared Hurd actually get like brutally KO'd in. Ooh. Brutally KO'd, man. I was calling Jared Hurd the Black Margarito for a little while because, he thinks it's an insult if you don't hit him in the face. You know what I mean? I don't understand how Jared Hurd makes 154 in the first goddamn place. The dude look like he's 200 pounds. Man, you know what I mean? He's a big guy, man, but he's target practice, man. Let's be honest. And I'm not disrespecting him. He's fun to watch, but I just don't think his skill set matches. And J-Rock proved that. J-Rock proved that. The only reason why he beat Lara is that he out-hustled him. And he just imposed his will and just beat on him. And if that 12th round didn't go the way it did, Lara won that fight. If the 12th round didn't happen the way it did.
Yeah, what's his name too? Trump too.
Yeah, Trump. Yeah, also, yeah.
Up, man.
Yeah. And that runs out. Now I think he tries that with Maul. It's gonna be a quick night for him. But his last fight, he was trying to box. I saw him trying to he was trying to land a counter uppercut. It wasn't him. You could tell he was just in there trying out some new things, and then he turned into his old self towards the end of the fight. But why not? Just I'm talking about Jared Hurd.
Okay,
Jared Hurd. He turned into his old self. Forgot who we fought last, but I remember watching. He was trying to. You could tell that he went to the gym and worked on some things. But he looked out of pockets, man. It wasn't him. I wasn't used to seeing him like that, and he wasn't used to fighting like that. Maul will just knock his head into someone's lap in the third row. But I mean, he may as well start defending those belts, man. Just start defending them. Get those win streaks up, man, until someone could take it. Now, everybody at 147, who do I see coming up and giving him a problem at 147? I mean, from 147, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna fight Earl. That's his boy. I mean, they'll fight if the money's right, but outside of that, who's coming up from 147?
Kid, he got that big ass kid. That 6'6" dude. Ain't he 154? That big ass kid.
That kid is food. I ain't sold on him yet.
Food, but that's a big ass kid. But obviously, man, I think that Ennis is gonna wind up there at 154. I think that Virgil Ortiz is gonna wind up at 154. But now Jermell pretty much cleaned that shit out. Like the Lara fight, that would be wild.
I think he'll stop Lara.
Huh?
He'll stop Lara.
Yeah, wow, man. I don't know. I can't see anybody stopping Lara. Castano is a good fight. Brian Castano would be a good fight. I mean, he's just the king. That tells you that's where we should be in boxing. Willie Woodard said, man, the Charlos are definitely pay-per-view material. Gennady Golovkin and Canelo both know these guys are real deal. I want to see Gennady Golovkin versus Jamal and Jamal versus Canelo. Damn, you want Jamal to move to beat up Gennady Golovkin? I think he'll beat Gennady Golovkin. That's a really interesting point, man. I think he can beat Gennady Golovkin.
If they want to make some money.
Golovkin is one of the more overrated fighters of this century, dude. He literally has his best win is Daniel Jacobs. He's famous for being ducked early in his career by Felix Sturm and other people that had, and people at middleweight were ducking him.
Yeah.
But dude, since he, got on board with with HBO, dude, he wasn't ducked. He just didn't fight nobody. Willie Monroe's and Curtis Stevenson's and
Dominic Wade,
Selecki, man, those guys are a bunch of 154 pounders. Like, dude, he quite honestly, man, Kasim Uma was a 154 pounder. Gennady doesn't even really fight like legitimate 160 pound fighters often. And when he did, he had a lot more problems, like Daniel Jacobs, Sergey Derevyanchenko, and Canelo Alvarez. I just think Gennady Golovkin is definitely one of the more overrated fighters, dude, in boxing. And definitely, if they're still keeping him up there, like, for what?
Hell, Max Kellerman said that.
What's that?
He said that we have to start rethinking about where we put Gennady Golovkin in a place in history. Now, it might have been sour grapes because he left HBO, but I think it was more than sour grapes because it was the absolute truth. Because he only said what we've been saying. They've then put him on. They went from putting him in the same sentence with Marvin Hagler, and I'm never going to forget that shit. They went from doing that to saying we have to rethink how we viewed Gennady Golovkin in boxing history. And I'm like, we've been saying that. Y'all put him on this pedestal. The pedestal shouldn't even been there. The fuck out of here, man. And that's what I'm saying about the packaging. Don't package these guys and make us believe that these guys are something that we haven't seen before. That's the problem with Lomachenko. Of course a guy can fight, but stop telling me I haven't seen that shit before. Stop doing that shit. Stupid. It's ridiculous. The packaging of Gennady Golovkin. Don't tell me that this guy is on the level of Marvin Hagler. Do not tell me that, man. He hasn't done shit. He's fighting blown up 154-pound guys, and he ducked the guys that mattered. Then went in there, and I remember exactly how it happened. Went in there and fought Kell Brook, and I don't care if he stopped Kell Brook. You saw some shit in that fight that you wasn't expecting to see, and it was after that fight everyone started beating down Golovkin's door. They was like, wait a minute, this guy ain't no killer. He was supposed to do that to Kell Brook, but then if you watch that fight, Kell Brook was in that fight. He was whooping Gennady's ass. But Gennady landed. He's a strong guy. But he looked human. He looked very human, and he looked flawed. And then Billy Ho Saunders was like, yeah, he wanted all the smoke now. Now he wanted all the smoke, and Gennady didn't take it. He ain't in hell. He ain't in hell. That's all it was. Gennady Golovkin is a strong dude, but trust me, he's not who he was made out to be. Yes, the packaging was all wrong.
And Gennady talked all that shit to Canelo in that last fight about how, Canelo wasn't fighting like a Mexican, pretty much implying that Canelo Alvarez was fighting like a black fighter, not fighting like a Mexican fighter, wasn't standing there. Man, Canelo Alvarez stood right in front of that dude and whooped his ass.
Whooped his ass.
Straight up.
His ass. And backed him up.
And that's exactly what that dude got. They got for all that overhyping of that dude, man. But my man H-Town 713 said them Texas boys running boxing. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They got 2 divisions on lock, 147 to 154 to 160. They got 147 to 160 locked in Texas. Because I think Jamal Charlo is my top 160 right now. Because he's the only one not ducking. He's the one he's not ducking, and he ain't getting beat. Right? Now, Demetrius Andrade could, but not after that fight, dog, I think he knocks out Demetrius Andrade. I think Demetrius Andre try to get cute with him, he's gonna get stopped. Because he can fight, because I think he fights well against southpaws, or at least he did in that late replacement Matt Korobov. So yeah, man, Texas is really, really doing it, man. Darius Ewing in that super chat, man. Thank you so much in the super chat. He said both Charlos would move up once, then clean the division, and then Canelo would run back down to 154. Sorry, I mean 155. Right. He got to have the 155.6 pound division. Look, man, that stuff, it needs to stop with Canelo. Like, we're all on planet Earth, okay? Canelo, you do not exist somewhere out in some other universe, some superstar status boxing alternate universe. You know what I mean? You live on this fucking planet, dude. And everybody knows, dog, that Jamal Charlo is the dude for you to fight, dog. And it ain't changed, and it ain't changed in years. Let me see how long it's been. Let me look up one thing real quick, because I don't want to misstate this, right? So let me see. Jamal Charlo. We're going to go through his box rec, and we're going to look to see when exactly he became the IBF 154-pound champion in 2015. That, my friend, is 5 years ago. Not Sergey Devenchenko. Let's see. When did Saul Alvarez get his 154-pound championship? He's a 154-pound. Yeah, in 2015 with Cotto, or is that middleweight? Yeah, in 2013. So they were fighting there at the same time with Austin Trout. But as soon as Jamal Charlo got up in there, dude skipped out. So it's been since like 2015 that they've been trying to make this fight. Okay, it's 5 years, man. You didn't fight him at 154. You asked for a franchise championship. You wouldn't have to fight him at 160. Skipped up to 168 to fight nobody. Rocky Fielding went up there to fight an alcoholic that had been knocked out 2 times in Sergey Kovalev. Now DAZN, you in negotiations with DAZN to strip half your money because the competition level ain't what they want it to be. Why not fight Jamal Charlo, man? Why not man up, fight Jamal Charlo? Because at a certain point in time, dog, his name is should start getting run down as a duck. Now, while we have, at risk of starting dumb shit, while we have had, plenty of people try to run duck campaigns on people, and pull out every stop to let people know that somebody's been ducking. Hey, man, why don't we do that for Canelo Alvarez? Because right now, dog, Canelo Alvarez should just be synonymous with ducking Jamal Charlo at this point. That's what his name should be synonymous with. Daniel Stanley, much love in that super chat. He says, salute Fannon and Drew. Drew, I can't agree with you more. Last night was a great, I can't agree with you more. Last night was a great fight. Pound for pound, Charlos were our Canelo and Gennady Golovkin, duck season, LDBC. Gonna be hiding behind publicists for the next couple weeks.
That's right.
What, you got something to stay on that, man? What's going on? Stay Ready Boxing says Hurd hasn't fixed his defense. I want to see that Hurd fight, but I want to see him fight Lara and see him fight Castano. He not knocking out Lara. Yeah, that's going to be tough to knock out Lara, and they know each other real well. What are your takes on what Daniel Stanley had to say? Stanley had to say, Drew,
in reference to
yeah, I just put it up. It's back up on the screen.
Yeah. Listen, man. Listen. You're absolutely right. They're gonna hide behind the people that's been protecting them, which is what we call old media, because that's what people are used to listening to. They're gonna make excuses. They're gonna look. That's what I'm saying. Watch for the clever writing. They're gonna look to diminish what we saw last night, and they're gonna try and reprogram. They're gonna deprogram. They're gonna try and deprogram those who read it and reprogram them while doing it. They're gonna try and diminish everything that was done last night, and then put this. They're gonna mystify the whole process and still try and force feed us that Canelo and Golovkin are the top guys in that division, and that's the fight we need to see. They'd rather put those guys in. They're gonna do it by building, trying to maintain the rivalry. How do we avoid the Charlos? Fight each other and put the eyes on that, because they really ain't do anything. Derevyanchenko already lost to Gennady Golovkin, and hell, who deserves a fight with Canelo because he's God. You understand? So since these guys already have a rivalry, let's keep that going. To keep these niggas, these black fighters, the Charlos, away from these guys, because we got something special over here. Watch for the clever writing, and it's going to get all justified. And shout out to Junior. Yeah, I got I got I got both Charlos over Bud in the pound for pound list. Just to digress on that for a second, I do.
Yeah, you got him jumping Bud.
Yo, absolutely, absolutely.
Wrong.
I do, man. I mean, listen. Shout out to Bud for 140 and 135, 147. You ain't do shit, and that's just the reality of it. Quantity versus quality, man. What has he done at 147? Our weight. He beat Jeff Horn. So the fuck what? What has Jeff Horn done lately? Nothing. All right. So you holding on to a belt that was a gift from the guy who you work for. Let's call it what it is. And what else have you done? I'm calling out Errol. Gotta do more than call out, buddy. Gotta make it happen. So don't fuck around and lose to Kell Brook, man. Do not fuck around and even look normal. You're supposed to get rid of Kell Brook. You're supposed to get rid of him, bud. All right, he's damaged goods, right? He done had one eye socket broken by Gennady Golovkin, the other one broken by Errol. He's supposed to be fooled, but you're supposed to steamroll that guy, get him the fuck up out of here. Do not fuck around and lose. Do not fuck around and even look human.
That fight though.
Now what?
Dog,
what you say?
It is disgusting.
What?
That shit might not go. That shit might not happen.
I missed something?
Yeah, well, dog, they said they're not going to pay for it. Bob Arum got on IFL TV yesterday and said that they can't find anybody in the UK that is willing to air the fight.
So air the shit over here. Bud is a star, right?
No, but watch. It will be aired over here, but see, ESPN isn't willing to put up the extra money, at least at this moment, right? Like they were willing to do for Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko. Bob Arum ain't going to have ESPN come out no extra money to make Bud look good. They're going to have Bud fighting Igis fucking Kalvalakis, dog. And if he has him fighting Igis Kalvalakis, dog, I'm telling you, it is war.
Yo, is this not consistent?
War.
Is this not classic Bob Arum? Now, is this strike two? He killed the Pacquiao fight. Remember that? And now this is now strike two, guys. Strike two. When we was saying that Bud should have packed his shit and came over to the PBC, this is why. So now are we really gonna blame Bob Arum? Are we gonna say, all right, Bud, you fucked up because this was your doing? This is your doing, Bud. Come on, man. I want to root for Bud, but I can't justify it. It's like today's rap music. Yeah, I love hip hop. I was there from the beginning, man, but I can't justify a lot of the shit that I hear. It's retarded. It's fucking retarded. Bud, your moves are retarded. If you fight Killer Naskets, whoever the fuck, if he fights this motherfucker, I'm telling you, it's over.
It's over.
He might as well retire. Because you're not gonna hear the end of it. I know Bud got a lot of fans, and I want to be very clear. I want to root for Bud so bad, but I cannot. I can't. This is bullshit. He has to get in a ring with Brook. I'm keeping the faith, man. I'm saying the fight's gonna happen. And how the fuck don't nobody in the UK want to pick that up?
Oh, in the defense of the UK, see, they got problems. Number one, Eddie Hearn got an exclusive contract with Sky where they put every piece of shit card that he has on pay-per-view. So, Eddie Hearn and them are in the midst of bleeding the UK out of all their fucking money. But the Kell Brook versus now, because the UK is not picking up a lot of fights. Like they didn't pick up Josh Taylor, that bullshit with Josh Taylor that DAZN put on. They didn't pick up, so far, they're not picking up Vasily Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez either. Because it's in the morning, because you got the time difference. But also, man, they ain't trying to spend the money. They stuck in the contracts for all that dumb shit, like that Dillian White Povetkin pay-per-view nonsense. Like, dude, you realize that shit's pay-per-view? Povetkin versus Dillian White is pay-per-view?
That was crazy. Shit. That was crazy. Now, but wait a minute. 2 years ago, actually just last year, I thought the UK was where all the money was. Remember that?
They were what? Oh, yeah. In 2017, they was hot. Let me get a couple of these super chats real quick because they're starting to pile up. And thank you guys so much for your support. And make sure y'all go follow Drew Titan, subscribe to Drew Titan on his channel. Put the link in there for Drew Titan's channel, Drew Titan's channel. Man, we got like almost 1,000 people in the building, man. And we got like less than 600 likes, man. Can y'all hit the likes? Also, Stay Ready Boxing. This is the question I wanted to respond to from Stay Ready Boxing TV. Shout out to Stay Ready Boxing TV. Stay Ready Boxing TV. You definitely need to be subscribed to my man. Let me said, Hurd hasn't fixed his defense. I want to see Hurd fight, but I want to see him fight Lara. But I want to see him fight Lara. Hurd and Lara again, a rematch? That wouldn't be bad. And see him fight Castano, and he's not knocking out Lara. Nah, he's not knocking out Lara. But I mean, I want to see Hurd. The reason that I want to see the Hurd fight is because that fight should happen.
He said Charlo's not knocking out Lara?
No, Hurd isn't.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah, Hurd's not knocking out Lara. At least that's the way it reads, because he didn't mention Jamal in the anywhere in there. But anyway, I want to see the fight because that's the fight that should have happened originally, man. We should have had a unification at 154 with those 3 belts after the Lara Hurd fight. But Hurd was like, nah, I'm gonna go off do something else. Right. And then that's where all the passing of the belt started, because Jarrett Hurd didn't want that smoke with Jamal. And then J-Rock had a rematch clause with Jarrett Hurd, so he wasn't free to just fight anybody. And then Jamal was going through all that stuff, going through his fight stuff with Tony Harrison, the loss to Tony Harrison, then the win, the knockout against Cota. I think that's who it was next. And then after that, he wound up knocking out Tony Harrison again, or knocking out Tony Harrison. So then he was back in the belt picture, and he got back in the belt picture the same time Jason Rosario beat, roughly around the same time. I think he may have been in December, and Jason Rosario and J-Rock might have been in January. But, then we got back to where we were with Jarrett Hurd and Jermell Charlo to begin with, except for it was J-Rock, Jason Rosario and Jermell. And I got to tell you, I'm sick to fuck of all these damn J's in the 154-pound. Shit. Jason Rosario, Jermell Charlo, J-Rock, Jarrett Hurd, Jaime Munguia is even a J. It's like the shit shit just keeps going. Mr. Already in that super chat, he said, what it do, brothers? Congratulations to the Charlo twins, Texas Tough. Shout out to Derek James. Put respect on his names. Yes, sir, trainer of the year. Hey, who's the best trainer in boxing right now?
Derek James.
Got 5 of them and a ring trinket.
Yep.
5 of them and a ring trinket. How you not? Now, if Arrow gets past Danny Garcia, how you not going to give him trainer of the year?
Throw him in the Hall of Fame right now.
Exactly. Right now, how you not going to give Jermell trainer of the year? How you got Jermell look like he's fighter of the year? 3 belts?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They'll find a way to give it to somebody in them booger weights, though.
Yeah, oh my God, they love the booger weights. Hate it or love it TV. Much love in that super chat, man. Thank you so much for your support, man. Thank you. Frank Cook Hoy says, salute Fannon. Drew in the chat, just showing love from the road. Hey man, enjoy yourself on your truck drive on that road out there, truck driving, and the rest of the people, truck drivers in the LDBC. that listen to us, run our mouths for long periods of time, so y'all can get through them road trips that much more comfortably. Let me see. Georgia Peach in the super chat says, salute Fannon. Great night of boxing. Them Charlo boys did their thing. I guess no more bananas. Really? I think Banana will be back. Banana just got ndungoed. Andy, let's get back to that fight for a second, though, dog. Jamel, dog. What'd you think about the fight, dog? Like the technique in the fight, man. Like, let's talk about the actual fight and what Jamel did in there. You know what got me with Jamal and Jamel is they knew how to Jamal knew how to shut Jason Rosario down at any time. Like, there ain't going to be none of that. Like, there ain't going to be none of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't catching me with no loose shit. He was just so much more mature. He had an answer for everything that Jason Rosario did. Jason Rosario's pressure did nothing to Jamel. Like, nothing. Jamel wasn't rushing. He didn't give up ground when he didn't want to give up ground. I was thoroughly impressed with that dude, man. What were your thoughts about the actual technique of the fight, Drew?
I was thoroughly impressed, man. Like I said earlier, I know that I didn't hear the commentary, but I know what I saw. I said, okay, from round one, he was walking Mel down. He was walking him down. And then I thought about it. I said, now he could easily bang with him, but that'd be stupid because Jason's a big kid, man. He had to weigh 170. He had to weigh 170 off. He had to. I don't want to hear nothing else about that. I looked at his back. I said, Jesus Christ, this kid's like 170 right now. And he's a sharp puncher. And I'm like, if he lands something substantial, we could see some shit here. But then I started paying attention. I said, you know what? He's walking him down, but he's walking into a trap. And no sooner than I thought it, he clipped him and dropped him. I said, oh, okay. All right. But that second knockdown, see, let me talk about that second knockdown. That hook, textbook perfect, right on the inside, off the brick of the nose. And then we saw the stanky leg. I love things like that. Because at that point, I was able to tell that in Rosario's camp, what they practiced was outside a part of their technique. The main focus was to put Charlo on the back foot. Put him on the back foot because they felt that he'd be uncomfortable because he's a bully. Well, people think he's a bully. That's a perception. And that's why I say the demeanor outside the ring gives a perception. With their demeanor outside the ring, in a way, is a contradiction to how they fight in the ring. Outside of the ring, they're wild and they talking trash and they talk about, I'm gonna fuck you up and all this shit. Then that bell rings and you're looking at a technical fighter. It's crazy. I'll give you an example of that. Think back at the Marlon and Harrison fight. Everyone thought in the rematch he was going to run out there and just try and maul him and kick and bite him and all this other crazy shit. No, that was a technical fight, man. It was a work of art. So now back to the Rosario fight. They're twins, but I'm saying they fight alike. It's a contradiction. What they act outside the ring is totally different from what you see from a technical standpoint inside the ring. That hook on the inside was a work of art, man, and it was set up. And that's what people that really don't like pay attention to the strategy of the sport, they don't catch that. All of that shit was set up. He knew he was walking him down after the first round. He said, okay, this guy's going to come forward. No matter what I hit him with, he's going to come forward because he thinks that that's going to steal my confidence. So I'm going to let him walk forward. And then what happened? He walked right into it. Now, here's what was impressive. The bell rang. Now, if that happened, if that hook on the inside happened with a minute left in the fight, he'd have ended him. Because when he walked back to his corner after the bell rang, Rosario was bouncing off the fucking ropes and shit. I was like, oh, this fight's over. Next round, bell rings. Mel didn't even jump on him. He walked up to him and just continued to box and let the fight come to him. So now Rosario was looking for that hook on the inside again. And what does he do? Body shot. A fucking jab, dude. A jab. It didn't even look like much. It was a jab. Jab. Yeah. I think he shit his pants, man.
He did. He had to have.
That was crazy.
He had to. Because his stomach was going.
It was crazy.
Con artist they try to sell you to get your abs flat, you know, the little electric shit you can wrap. All that shit is doing is shocking your stomach. That's what that looked like, man. Hey, Jupiter said, proud of both Charlos. Maul has beat multiple styles with his jab alone. Mel ran through 154. They both looked phenomenal and pound for pound now. Yeah, man, you guys got to come up off that shit, dog. You got to break the 3 black man rule. Okay? A ring, you got to break it. You have to have almost half of your top 10 pound for pound be black now. You have to. Because Errol didn't lose, Terence didn't lose. Jermell Charlo got 3 belts at 154 and is cut out a whole division. And Jamal Charlo just beat Sergey Deverenchenko and did it more convincingly than a guy that you already have on your list, Gennady Golovkin. And Gennady Golovkin lost to Canelo. You got to put those 2 on there, dog. And then next, if Tank was actually fighting, somebody of legitimate, man, is that a legit fight? This thing coming up? We'll get towards the end. We're gonna get on to the next pay-per-views and what this means for the pay-per-views and all that. But let's get through the rest of the super chats. My man Damon Wester said, pound for pound is moving up in weight classes and conquering divisions and ranking. Bud isn't there for 157. He's there for overall career, Mr. Titan. That's for you.
What did he say?
He said the pound for pound is for moving up in weight classes. That's not necessarily true, Damon Wester. That's not true.
Bud isn't there for 147. He's there for overall his career. No. No, it's real easy to get removed from that pound for pound list. That's bullshit. Okay, is Manny pound for pound right now? Manny Pacquiao?
He's the number 10 on these motherfuckers' lists.
Okay, so he's still on there. Wasn't he number 1 at one point in his career?
He was.
Okay, so if he gets knocked out real bad in his next fight, is he still at 10?
No, he should be gone. But he's Manny. You never know.
Okay, you see, this is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. You know,
it's Manny.
it's Manny. You know what I'm saying? It's the name value.
Shit, Kovalev his ass stayed there. Kovalev got knocked out by Andre Ward, stayed there.
He didn't move.
And man, he might have moved down a spot or 2, but he didn't move immediately. They were stubborn about that shit. It took him a minute to get his ass up off of there, dog.
Yeah, we forgive you. We forgive you. We're gonna stay. You're not 3 no more. Now you're 5, but we're gonna keep you there. We forgive you. And losses happen.
Well, hey, my thing, Damon Wester, on this is, look, man, Bug got to fight some fucking body, man. Like, for real. Even at 140, he didn't fight nobody. He just fought like the people that were there to fight.
But let's ask this: is he ahead of Charlo right now? Is he ahead of either one of them right now?
Who?
Bud. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could keep him. I think I could still keep him if I had him there, because you remember I got him with an asterisk because he ain't fighting nobody. Like, I got Canelo out of there because he popped dirty. Right. I mean, I had to take Lomachenko ducked and fucking Canelo ducked. Yep. And Terence Crawford is ducking like Sean Porter and all them. So, but really, I think I would still have him at my number 1 if I wasn't being spiteful. But I would have Jermell like right next to Errol Spence. I would have Terence Crawford, then I would have Errol Spence, then I would have Jermell Charlo.
So if you had Bud at 2,
I had Bud at 1.
All right.
If
so
he'd be at 1.
He'd be at 1. Okay, but let's say if he's on a list and you had him at 2 or 3. My question is can he be replaced by the Charlo brothers? Because they've done with
if he fights Egis Kalvanakis, he's the fuck out of there. If he fights Green Bean, if he rematches Green Beans, he is gone. Okay, because it's a fraud, because you're a fraud at this point in time.
These guys, the Charlos have done what they've done at their division. They pretty much conquered it. All right, but if he was still fighting at 140, I'd clearly have him there. But he's at 147 now. He has a strap, and he has all this opportunity, and he hasn't taken advantage of it. So I can't have him there.
Twin D said, yo, Drew Titan is the truth. Great, descriptive, entertaining, and on-point commentator. Commentary, new fan here. My bad for being late to your page. Thanks, Fannon, LWC. Twin D, thank you so much. Yeah, man, Drew is a trooper. And he can watch, and he's on that New York time. So he can, he got that extra hour of sleep for the morning shows where everybody else, everybody else is dying, Everybody else dying. These New York people already been up an hour.
Twin D, much love.
And then I didn't. Make this shit black and white, pun intended. Look, man, here's the black and white of it. Dog, you got to put them color drops, you got to put them chocolate drops up on that pound for pound list, dog. Okay.
Yeah.
You get no outs, or you're just fake. Okay. Like, I want to start, let's let this be the moment of truth in this live stream, man. Okay. Y'all cannot continually act like these black fighters are not the best fighters. You got to stop it's time to stop pretending like what they're saying is in any way, shape, or form real. You saw what Jamal Charlo did to Jason Rosario. You saw the skill level that dude employed. You saw the monster that Jamal Charlo looked up in there against Sergey Deverenchenko. And he's a better boxer than Sergey Deverenchenko. He's not just a bigger fighter. He's a better boxer than him. Jamal Charlo is a better boxer than Daniel Jacobs. Jamal Charlo will knock out Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Ho is going to sleep at 160 or 168. Callum Smith is going to sleep. The only guy that's at middleweight has a chance of beating Jamal Charlo is Canelo. And Canelo has a chance. And he also got a chance to lose. But if you guys it's just, I think boxing fans, we're never going to be able to rely on these people to tell us how great our fighters really are. They only want to celebrate them when they're dead.
Yep.
Every time that there's, the Muhammad Ali trophy, or, he's doing this is like Joe Louis, this is Sugar Ray Robinson, oh man, this so much reminds me of the great days of Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns and Marvin Hagler and all that great stuff. But now we don't have any of that, right? Because you're not going to act like they're great until they're gone. We went through the entire career of Andre Ward, demanding that people recognize how great that fighter is, man. His whole career was damn near swept underneath the rug, man. And he had to prove himself by beating a guy, because Andre Ward, there's a chance, dude, that Andre Ward could have went pro at 160, moved up to 168, then moved up to 175. But he had to remember how they did him with Sergey Kovalev.
Oh yeah,
when it was the pound for pound, where they were supposed to be fighting for the pound for pound slot. Then Andre Ward won, and then all of a sudden it wasn't for pound anymore.
Yep.
And then when he knocked him out, and it was still not pound for pound.
Not pound.
That's where we are with the Jamal Charlos, man. With the Jamal Charlo, the Gary Russell Juniors. I appreciate. Well, I'm not even gonna say that because I'm so fucking sick to death. So sick to death of shit. I was gonna go somewhere, but I can't.
Yeah. You just relax.
Yeah.
I mean, look. I just threw the confetti in the air. I was like, whatever, man. I'm good.
Whatever. I'll see you on November 7th.
So good.
I'll see you on November 7th. Okay. Yeah. When the fight I'll see you November 7th on the zone. All that other stuff was whatever, man. But look, man, this has been a great show this morning. We still got 930 people in the building, but we did our 2 hours. Thank you guys so much for coming. Is there any other, if you guys got a couple questions, maybe we'll do like 3 or 4 more questions if people want it from the chat. Because there's a lot of people in here, but I think we've had a great show. What about you, Drew?
Man, I'm ecstatic, man. I'm still buzzing off last night. Y'all really don't understand, man. Boxing, to me, boxing is life, man. Boxing is life, man. I'm too old to go pro and shit, but I grew up in gyms, in and out of gyms and shit. And I have so much love and respect for the people that do it. It's one thing to watch it, but you guys have never actually laced them up, man. Just lace them up. Go to a gym and just lace them up and hit the bag, or just do some light sparring, man. I'm telling you, it's a different feeling. You'll have a whole new respect for the sport. I mean, you love it now, but when you actually get in there and just do it, you'll have a whole new respect, even for the fighters that we call trash. You're gonna say, "Oh shit, man, this is what this guy does for a living by choice." Holy shit, you know what I mean? I mean, I love boxing, man. Boxing to me is life, man. It's relevant to life, man. And last night, I came in. I had a Corona. I walked past that Corona about 5 times in the store, and I said, "Fuck it, I ain't have one in years." Got me a lemon, put it in there, and I had my celery and my carrots and shit. Yeah, I'm drinking a beer, but trying to eat healthy. What a contradiction. That's fucking stupid, but whatever. But I enjoyed myself, man. I'm like, wow, the kid went to bed early and shit. She wasn't bothering me. So I'm like, oh man, this is dope. I'm just watching. Funny story real quick though. My wife comes out, during the first Charlo fight. She's like, oh yeah, you watching the fight? I said, yeah. She's like, okay, yeah, goes in the room. She comes out again. She said, wait a minute, they're doing that now? I said, what do you mean? She said, this is a replay or something? I said, what do you mean? She said, didn't this nigga just fight? I said, no, babe, they're twins. His brother fought. She's like, oh, what? That's crazy. I said, no, I swear to God, they're twins. She picks up her phone. She thought I was bullshitting her. She looks at her phone. She says, oh, okay. Oh, all right. I said, no, they're twins for real. It was crazy. It was funny as hell, man. But I had a splendid time last night, man. I was just like, wow, man, I ain't feel like this over boxing in a minute. And the year's not out, man. The year's not over yet, man. We still got some things to look forward to, man. And I just love and appreciate the sport, man. And you guys, man, all of us, man, we're actual fans of the sport, man. We keep it alive, man. And man, we just appreciate all of it. I'm sure the fighters appreciate us too, man. But man, we make shit go round, man. I just had a really good time last night watching a pay-per-view that I paid my $75 for, man. And I'm just so happy about that. So happy.
Yeah, sir, man. Me too, man. I felt like boxing was back for the first time. It was real fights. I was really nervous about the fights. Got the bubble guts before the fight. It was really, really fun, man. And it was nice to see. My hat goes off to Showtime too, because Showtime, they didn't have to do, man. They didn't have to do that to get those dudes on pay-per-view like that. The Charlo Brothers, and it's nice to see that somebody that they believed them and gave them the opportunity for that. And I don't know what the pay-per-view fight, what the pay-per-view sales are going to be and all that. And again, like I said earlier, I think it's just pretty much something where it's going to offset the cost, offset the cost of production. So they probably just want to get to a certain amount where they can break even. But I'm telling you, man, I was very happy with that $75 that I paid for that fight, man, because that was like a Don King type of card, man. There were fights all damn day. Like, dude, I saw the Javier for what is it? The Brandon Figueroa and the Luis Neri fights. They were good. There were some other fights on those undercards with some up-and-coming fighters. Daniel Roman, I didn't see the Daniel Roman fight, but dude, just the Daniel Roman fight. If you put the Daniel Roman fight and the Brandon Figueroa fight together on a card, shit, that's better than 99% of the ESPN cards.
It sure is.
And the zone card. That just the undercard, the undercard fights were better than the main events in many of the fights that you get on the zone and ESPN. So man, my hat goes off to them for that. I'm looking forward to the next pay-per-view is probably not is a bigger name type of thing, but I think the next one that's coming up is Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah. Davis Santa Cruz. That I don't know who's on the undercard of that, but I'm just looking forward. And listen, man, I'm a fan. I don't give a shit. Look, I hope Santa Cruz gets his whole goddamn shit beaten. I mean, early. I'm not gonna mind if it's like a Mike Tyson in the 80s type of knockout. I'm not gonna mind. I don't want no beating. If the beating stretches out for 12 rounds, then so be it. But I wouldn't mind seeing this guy getting clipped and the shit being over in 8 seconds in the first round. I'm not gonna mind it because of what Santa Cruz did. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about him, Quigg, Frampton, and Morris. Fuck all four of those guys forever. Fuck them with a lit flare. I don't care about them. What they did to Rigo was uncalled for, and a lot of the fans accepted that bullshit. They ducked that man, and he's the reason why. That's the reason why he went up and fought Lomachenko in the first goddamn place. You understand? So Santa Cruz, yeah, buddy, I'm rooting against you. I'm rooting against you for that on purpose. It's not a color thing. It's a you being a dick thing. You're a dick. You did that shit on purpose, man. And no one called you out on it.
Hey, man, on a similar point, they did Rigondeaux like that last night on Showtime. When the Showtime people were talking about the fights at 118 pounds with Nordina, Obali, and Monster and all that, dude, they never mentioned Guillermo Rigondeaux.
No surprise.
I was like, dude, Rigondeaux's fights on the same channel from you. How come you don't see that? But anyway, man, let's get up out of here. Man, Drew, thank you for holding down the chat again, man. Enjoying. Big up to Brian Custer. Yeah, shout out to Brian Custer, man. He did an excellent job as well. It was good to see him back. But look, we're going to get out of here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Drew Titan, let them know how to get in contact with you, man.
I'm Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the entire LDBC. You can follow me right here on YouTube under the same name, Drew Titan. You can follow me on Instagram under the same name, Drew Titan. We're going to have some fun. I'll be on 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. And yeah, we're going to chop it up, some more boxing.
For sure. And yeah, likewise for me, man. Hey, look, check out my videos that I put up over the last couple of days. It now has my Instagram tag. You know, I put up all those like flashing shit in the videos so you can see how to get me. I'm now on Instagram for non-boxing at Instagram. I still have to figure out how to use it and get pictures, get into the rigmarole, but I am officially on Instagram now. So y'all can follow me over there. I passed 1,000 subscribers on 1,000 followers on Twitter. That was my goal. So I was like, I get 1,000 on Twitter, then I'll move over there to Instagram because I know that's where most of you young bucks hang out. But you know, I need to make sure I got enough old fogies in the Twitter sphere around me. Now I can go hang out with you young people over there on Twitter. I mean on Instagram and all that good old stuff. But anyway, with that, we out. Thank you so much to everybody that supports in the chat, in the super chat. Great night of fights. Congratulations to the Charlos. And with that, we're out. Peace.
Peace.